Rest assured that the enemies of democracy are also the enemies of Bible-believing Christians. Liberalism is a tool by which the powers of tyranny and darkness use to foment a departure from moral values, and specifically, from our perspective, biblical values. For liberal thinking allows one to question the validity, accuracy, and authority of the Scriptures and all moral tenets. This is called moral relativism. Moral relativism declares that morality is not an absolute, but rather a relative phenomena open to personal interpretation. Now, this is the very tenet that resulted in Lucifer's fall. He argues that God and his laws are not absolute, and therefore God has no right to impose his moral laws upon the whole of creation. As we depart from the moral tenets outlined in Scriptures, we begin to erode the moral base in which man is to live by. The Bible has demonstrated its moral validity and positive effects upon government, the world of commerce, human relations, and mankind as a whole without question. In lieu of this thought, the intelligent observer will clearly see that the Bible proves its own worth. We are reminded in Scriptures that Babylon fell because she turned her back on God and served false gods and worshipped Baal, which was the worship of Satan. Sodom and Gomorrah also fell because of her wickedness, as did Jericho and countless other nations. These are three biblical examples of how moral relativism, which results in moral decay and wickedness, ultimately results in utter chaos and destruction. The equation here is a constant. Moral relativism is also a foundational principle of socialism. Most people are totally unaware that Karl Marx, who authored the Communist Manifesto, worshiped Satan and empathized with Lucifer's fall from the heavenly places. Now, did you just catch that statement? Let's reflect upon a verse from a poem that Karl Marx once wrote called The Pale Maiden. I quote, "Thus heaven I forfeited. I know it full well. My soul, once true to God, is chosen for hell." In the very same writing, Karl Marx openly admits, and I quote again, "Our war is against God and the world created by him." Karl Marx further states in the Communist Manifesto that his aim was the abolition of not only all religions, but also of all morals, which would make everything morally permissible. Also unknown to most Americans is the well-rehearsed saying amongst communists, a greeting, as it were. Brace yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, the communist official verbal high five, so to speak. Quote, "In the name of the one to whom a great wrong has been done, Satan, the eternal rebel, the first freethinker, and the emancipator of worlds." Unquote. Now, there's no confirmation so sure as for one to simply state the facts of one's beliefs. These are rather shocking statements indeed, yet it leaves no doubt as to the question, did Karl Marx serve Satan? Here are 5 reasons why modern liberalism is incompatible with Christianity. Modern liberals reject ultimate and uniform moral standards, choosing rather moral relativism. Also, modern liberals belligerently support multiculturalism. This stance means that no one culture is regarded as better than any other, and that to mix cultures is a healthy practice. Although most of us wouldn't disagree with this principle, the huge problem here is that their approach to culture includes religion. Therefore, according to the liberals, no one religion is better than any other, and no religion should be regarded as having superior claims on the truth. At once, it should be laughably obvious why no committed Christian can possibly support modern liberalism. In retrospect to the Great Commission, which Jesus himself placed into motion, we can rest assured that multiculturalism is most certainly a wolf in sheep attire. Moreover, a subtle attempt to quell the spread of the gospel. Now, at this juncture, I'm reminded of a scripture. I quote from John 14:6. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. No man comes into the Father except through me. Now, we humbly apologize if that sounds exclusive, yet Jesus declared this of himself, not we of him, albeit as Christians we have wisely chosen to accept this truth. Liberalism supports open and free sexuality, including gay marriages. Nothing is more contrary to the teaching of Scriptures than these evils. The Scriptures are not unclear nor ambiguous, my friend, in regards to sexual immorality and homosexuality. Liberalism has given wholehearted support to abortion and to a woman's right to choose, as they say. Moral relativism arrogantly states that no one has the right to declare that something is immoral, hence no moral absolutes. Modern liberals also support the privatization of religious belief. Now, this means that you and I can believe whatever we like, yet conversely, liberalism states that our beliefs should be kept to ourselves. It is therefore blatantly apparent that liberalism opposes Christianity evangelizing and propagating itself. Now, the untold truth here is unquestionably satanic in nature, and a devious attempt to prevent the church from spreading the gospel of Christ, as the Lord very clearly commissioned us to do. Now, the moment one resists on sharing one's faith, one falls foul of the modern liberal because of their deeply held belief in the privacy of religion. To the liberal, the concept of going out and making disciples sounds like troublemaking, yet they themselves give no second thought to rebel-rousing. Can America survive if we allow the spirit of democracy to be slain by the hands of globalists who promote liberalism through the vehicle of socialism? We must remember that this is the same spirit of democracy which fueled the French Revolution. When the French made the choice to cast off democracy, embrace liberalism, and deny themselves the desperately needed moral restraints of the Christian faith, they set into motion a very dark, evil chaos. By crushing the church and killing its leaders, France fell to a mournful state of tyranny and despotism. My urgent warning to America is that we will suffer the same fate if we allow those who embrace liberalism and permit globalists to rule over us. Every July 4th we celebrate America's independence. If we are to remain a free and independent nation, we should heed George Washington's piercing words in his farewell address. In that address he said, "Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports." He continued and further said, "In vain would that man claim the tribute of patriotism who should labor to subvert these great pillars of human happiness." Unquote. In closing, I want to remind my viewers that there are powers among us today who publicly claim to be true patriots of American values and true democracy, but in reality are covertly subverting these great pillars. Let us labor, pray, and stand firm in our faith in God to see that these indispensable supports that George Washington spoke of continue to be observed. As a countermeasure, we, the parents of America, must teach our children these priceless values, for if they, as tomorrow's American patriots, fail to embrace the values of both God, Scriptures, and true democracy, our great nation will crumble at the hands of tyranny.